All right, Derby fans, as we get ready to begin the first bout of the evening, we'd like to direct your attention up to the video screens. We'd like to show you a video from a recent tryout session for the Arizona Derby Dames.
All right, Derby fans, taking the track right now are your Schoolyard Scrappers. All right, skating tonight for your Schoolyard Scrappers, number 918, Ballistic Buffalo. 1212, Bonnie Banshee. Number 300, Dolly Spartan. 31, Felony Storm. Number 68, Juicy Couture. OMG, Killin' May Smalls. Number 5, she's made in Asia. 440, Morning Madness. Number 66, Nacho Mama. 172, Pikachu. It's 1981, she's Sandra Slay O'Connor. 1701, Spock Block. And number 34, co-captain of the Schoolyard Scrappers, Pretty Hurt Machine. Helping the team on their bench tonight, our bench coach, Black Eyed Please, penalty manager, Thrill Sergeant. Not skating tonight, 90210, Beverly Kills, 1235, Bob Villain, 144, Ivy Overdose, and number 669, the captain of the Schoolyard Scrappers, Nikki Badass.
Now introducing the Doomsday Valkyries. Tonight, the Doomsday Valkyries, in honor of their sister team, the Schoolyard Scrappers, are being introduced with mashup names to honor their favorite Schoolyard Scrappers skater. Skating tonight for the Valkyries, number 88, Nacho Bama. Number 401, Prime Badass. Number T65, BB Block. Number 67, Dora Mae Smalls. Number 311, Kenya Villain. Number 427, Lieutenant Kills. Number 298, Boozer Overdose. Number 73, Shirley Temple of Buffalo. Number 187, Sour Apple Storm. Number 505, The Juicy Nader. Number 600, Voltage Slay O'Connor. Number 1104, Sugar Maiden. Number 500, your co-captain, Pretty Indie Machine. And number 24/7, your captain of the Doomsday Valkyries, Black Eyed Reddy. Helping the team on the bench tonight, our bench coach, NC Madness, and penalty manager, Supreme Thrill. Not skating tonight, number 59, Diesel Atchu, and number 423, Bonnie Damage. Derby fans, please rise for the national anthem. Tonight's national anthem singer is Kenya Diggett. Kenya is head of the events committee and is in her 4th season with the Valkyries. They are here tonight to do battle with the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Thank you. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight on the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Derby.
Taking the track for your Schoolyard Scrappers. Jam, the first jam. That's made in Asia.
Jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries. That is going to be Kenya Diggett, first time up.
Made in Asia finds her way out on the low side. Kenya Diggett's trying to high on the high side, try to get past Killing May Smalls, those last couple Schoolyard Scrappers, and she gets out in turn 3. Made in Asia comes up on the back of the pack. Valkyrie's walled up trying to stop her. And she gets to the back of the pack and calls it off.
One blocker off the track for the Valkyries. They're going to send Indy to the jammer line.
And spot block out there. Skate this jam for the Scrappers. And there goes Spock Block. They're your lead jammer. Indy gets knocked to the infield. Gets back up out on the track. Dolly Spartan knocks Indy to the infield. Spock Block hits the back of the pack. Spock Block making their way out. Gets a little assist from Pikachu. Indy's out of the pack, going to try to catch up to Spock Block, or at least limit their points. And Spock Block calls off the jam, wisely calls off the jam as they both get to the back of the pack. Here comes Felony Storm for the Scrappers.
And it's going to be BB Skate for the Doomsday Valkyries. 5 points on the board for the Scrappers.
I see a lot of ink on that whiteboard for the Scrappers.
And we've got an official timeout. We're going to go over some of that ink on the whiteboard there and make sure everything is properly accounted for and all penalties, what have you. All right. We've got some special announcements tonight. We will hear these a couple of times. We'd like to first let you know about Saturday, March 7th is the 5th annual Phoenix SkaterCon, a multi-dimensional celebration of skateboarding and the rich culture that surrounds it. Check out the Arizona Derby Dames booth, talk with skaters, eat at the food trucks, and check out the live music. With meet and greets, contests, and Legends of Skating, you don't want to miss it. That's next weekend at Paradise Valley Skate Park, Saturday, March 7th, Phoenix SkaterCon.
And Derby fans, Paz Cantina is the official after-party spot of the Arizona Derby Dames. Come join us after tonight's bout for live music, games, food, and drinks. Present your wristband for a 20% discount on your tab. Paz Cantina, located on 3rd Street in Roosevelt. Head over to hang, eat, and drink with the Dames. Power jam.
All right, after penalties have been reviewed, we now have a power jam for the Doomsday Valkyries. It's going to be BB Skate out there to do the honors, and just 2 blockers for the Schoolyard Scrappers, so a great opportunity for the Valkyries here.
Ballistic Buffalo and Nacho Mama out there skating for the Scrappers. Three Scrappers picking up penalties on that last jam. BB Skate coming around the track again. Takes a tumble, but gets back up on the track. Heads on out to try to attempt another scoring pass. Still about 12 seconds left on this jam. Plenty of time, especially with that pack stopped in the middle of the back straightaway.
When it's all said and done, it's a 15-point power jam for the Doomsday Valkyries to open up their scoring. They're going to send Sauer Appletini to the jammer line.
That's Felony Storm out there to skate this jam for the Scrappers.
And we have another official timeout, so looks like we are working on penalties from the previous jam. I'm getting all that reported, so we'll get an update to you there momentarily. We'd like to let you know about our March charity right now. Our March charity, given that tonight is the very, very last day of February, so our efforts to support Circle the City for the month of February have largely come to a close with collection of backpacks tonight. However, our March charity, make sure to come and join Team Arizona Derby Dames for some St. Patrick's Day fun on March 13th. You can raise money to fight cancer at the Kilt Lifter 10th Anniversary Kilt Run. This event is lots of fun for all ages, and pets are welcome. For full details, visit the booth outside. We do have a representative here tonight from the Irish Run for sign-ups. $5 off tonight only.
And Felony Storm takes advantage of that thin pack, gets directly out in turn 1.
Very small pack out there for Felony Storm, and this is a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Felony Storm completing a scoring pass.
Dora and Indy able to hold Felony Storm up at the high side of the rails, slow her down some. That becomes important later on. Scrappers able to keep it slow in turn 3, enabling Felony Storm to maximize the number of points. Still 10 seconds left. That's points achievable. Felony Storm isn't done yet. And a 15-point power jam there. Swings the lead back.
Schoolyard Scrappers moving back in front. Scrappers are going to send Bonnie Banshee to the jammer line now.
Can you dig it out there for the Valkyries? Bonnie Banshee tries to follow. Can you dig it out of the pack, but able to get out on her own.
Kenya now out of the pack for the Valkyries as well. Following in closely behind, about a quarter of a track behind, Bonnie Banshee into the pack and calls it off.
And here comes Morning Madness. Her first time jamming in this bout.
And on the jammer line for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be Alabama Worley.
And both jammers get out there. In turn 2, Mads goes ahead and calls it off.
So we'll set up now for the next jam. It's going to be BB Skate for the Valkyries this time. Juicy Kill Tour for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
A little bit of a slow start to this jam. And Juicy Kill Tour gets out on the low side, practically running down that track.
Felony Storm up into the pack, runs into a blocker and takes a tumble and calls off the jam from the seat of her jersey pants. And it looks like the jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers headed down, as we are going to get a look at the penalty board here momentarily. And indeed,
is that an A or an X?
looks like we've got a penalty against Felony Storm there in the previous jam. So it's a power jam for the Valkyries. It's going to be Sour Apple Teeny. Quarter of the way through the power jam, Sour Apple Teeny still looking for an opening, trying to get to the front of the pack, but gets knocked to the ground.
Scrapper's able to recycle and line up back in front of Sour Appletini. Solid four wall right there. Valkyrie's trying to break it up though, get their jammer out.
Seven seconds to go in the power jam. Sour Appletini now still stuck behind the defense of the Scrappers. And the clock's going to expire on the power jam. Excellent defensive effort by the Schoolyard Scrappers to keep the Valkyries off the scoreboard.
Here comes Ballistic Buffalo for the Scrappers.
Coming up to the jammer line for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be Hot and Ready.
Ballistic Buffalo able to get directly out on the low. Pack slowly moving between turn 1 and 2. Hot and Ready looking for an opening. Scrappers have a solid 3 wall at the front of the pack. Ballistic Buffalo gets to the back of the pack, gets knocked off the track, reestablished herself on the track. Finishing up her scoring pass. Getting by Kenya Diggett and calls off the jam.
4 points up on the board there for the Scrappers. Scrappers are going to send Pikachu to the jammer line.
Indy.
Jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be Indy. Now Pikachu headed down off the track once again. Headed up on the track as Freya hugs though. That means a stoppage in play. And we are going to have an official timeout again to go over some of the penalties there. We did have, looks like we were setting up for a power jam for the Valkyries. We'll have to.
Hey, are you interested in being a part of the roller derby community, but hitting people isn't your thing? These regulators are always looking for dedicated and eager minds to learn our rule set and help keep our ladies on the track in check. Our regulator team accepts all genders, and there are various levels of officiating that go on during a roller derby bout. Come be a part of the action, help our league grow. Ask any skater or ref how to get involved.
Lost Dutchman Tattoo is a local tattoo shop specializing in various styles from realism to traditional, and you can customize your own tattoo design. Walk-ins are welcome. They're located at 4121 North 19th Avenue. East side of 19th Avenue, just north of Indian School Road. It's Lost Dutchman Tattoo. And with an announcement from the infield, we have a challenge. Schoolyard Scrappers are challenging some of the action there in their previous jam, most likely going to be challenging the penalty against their jammer. So we'll step aside to the challenge process, and there will be a brief stoppage in play here.
Nutrition One School Lunch Program. Food is the energy that growing children need. And providing healthy, great tasting, and freshly prepared whole foods to local school valley-wide, Nutrition One School Lunch Program works closely with the Arizona Department of Education and the USDA to make sure our children are getting the nutrition they need daily to stay focused and get the best out of their school lunch. That's Nutrition One School Lunch Program.
This is Bliss Massage, is transforming lives one treatment at a time, offering massage treatment in Tempe and mobile massage services. Specializing in Swedish, deep tissue, Reiki, and much more, visit thisisblissmassage.com or call 480-406-1314 to schedule your appointment. All right, after review, the penalty is upheld, so the Schoolyard Scrappers lose their first half challenge, and they will give up a power jam now to the Doomsday Valkyries. So we will see who the Valkyries will be sending out here as the jammer for this power jam momentarily. All right, coming out to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Indy.
Scrappers have a full complement of blockers out there, so there's going to be a lot of traffic in the way for Indy. Indy's fast, but you got to get out of the pack first.
.30 seconds to go in the Valkyries power jam. So far, Schoolyard Scrappers defense is up to the task.
Chingadora out there trying to get her jammer out, putting pressure on the Scrappers. Valkyries challenging them, trying to get them out, and it looks like she gets out in turn 3.
Scrappers power jam defense again up to the challenge and keeping the Valkyries off the scoreboard there during the power jam. Valkyries now are going to send BB Skate to the jammer line.
That's a Juicy Couture out there for the Scrappers. Both teams have one blocker in the penalty box right now. The jammers tentatively approach the pack. And Juicy Couture is able to get out, and she's your lead jammer. BB Skate not far behind her, though. Juicy hits the back of that pack on the high side. Calls off the jam. Neither team picking up a point in that jam.
Setting up in the jammer line now for the Schoolyard Scrappers, number 1981, Sandra Slay O'Connor.
That's Sarah Appletini out there for the Valkyries. Teeny fighting her way to the front of the pack there. Sandra Slay O'Connor held up on the high side of the rail. Both jammers are still kept in the pack with about 20 seconds to expired in this jam. Teeny knocked to the infield by Bonnie Banshee. Sandra Slay O'Connor being held on the rail by Indy. But she gets out, though. She is your lead jammer. Sarah Appletini did get out, about a quarter track behind her. Pack picking up some speed moving along the back straightaway, though. And with that, the clock expires.
Two points up on the board for Sandra Slay O'Connor. This being her first bout, those will be her first points in the league, so congratulations.
Here comes Morning Madness out there to jam for the Scrappers.
Jamming for the Valkyries is going to be Kenya Diggett.
Kenya Diggett finds her way to the front of the pack, and she's able to get out as your lead jammer.
Morning Madness quickly out of the pack as well and is now going to apply pressure. Kenya Diggett trying to get back to the pack and seeing if she can get any points on the board. Up to the pack, meets the defense, but has to call it off as she was catching up. Morning Madness was catching up from behind as well. Jamming for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be Alabama Worley.
That's your co-captain, Pretty Hurt Machine out there tonight.
Late penalty being reported in there, but being reported in, and one more blocker down for each side, and we're ready to go.
Pretty Hurt Machine's able to get out on the far side. One last hit from Indy, and she gets out. Alabama chasing her down, though. Pack was picking up even more speed. Pretty Hurt Machine had to call off that jam.
Hearing all sorts of penalties filtering into the infield now. Two blockers down for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Doomsday Valkyries sending up to the jammer line BB Skate.
That's Spock block out there for the Scrappers.
Valkyries with the two-skater advantage in the pack here as the clock has expired on the first quarter. Quickly to the front of the pack goes BB Skate, and that's their lead jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries. Spock block out of the pack as well for the Scrappers to apply some pressure. And BB Skate calls off the jam with Spock block approaching quickly. Four points up on the board for the Valkyries as we head into the first quarter break. Your score right now, Scrappers 30, Valkyries 19.
All right, with that, get your raffle tickets out, the orange raffle tickets. We got some raffle prizes right here. I got two prizes going out right now. Number 785-538. Number 785-538 and number 785-622. 785-622. Get those orange raffle tickets out. Make some noise if you got those winning prize tickets. Come on down and collect your prize. Right, get those raffle tickets out. We're going to draw again for the raffle. Orange raffle tickets. Orange raffle ticket number 785-544. Number 785-544. And number 785-631. 785-631. Make some noise and come on down and collect your prizes. Hey, look at that. I saw you with your whole line of all those tickets. There's got to be a winner in there somewhere. All right, Derby fans, it's almost time for some macaroni madness. Next month, our regulators are hosting the macaroni cook-off competition. On March 28th from 6 to 9 p.m. at O'Brien's Sports Bar, located at 7829 North 35th Avenue in Phoenix. It's $10 to enter the cook-off, and the cutoff for entries is 6:30 p.m. with a prize of $50 for the winners. It's a win-win. Talk up to a regulator for more details, or come up here and talk to your winning announcers. The announcers swept the mac and cheese competition last year, so if you like some good macaroni and cheese, and if you look at us, you can tell we do. Come on down and see if you can beat us. If you can't beat us, you can eat macaroni and cheese. I'd say something else, but they're kids present.
All right, with that whistle, we are back to the action. We are going to start things off with another power jam for the Doomsday Valkyries. It's going to be Alabama Worley at the jammer line for the Valkyries here. Otherwise, a fairly robust pack. One blocker in the penalty box for the Schoolyard Scrappers as well. So they've got 3 blockers out there. Scrappers defense has held strong for the last couple of power jams. We will see what the Valkyries can do here.
Bama gets out of the pack over here by the front straightaway. Pack picking up some speed over there in turns 1 and 2. Alabama hits the back of the pack. Scrapper's trying to get in front of her. Scrapper's got a 3-wall. Indy in there trying to break them up, get her jammer out, and she does. She's successful.
5 seconds left on the power jam clock. Bama trying to get back to the pack, and it looks like she's just going to run out of time as she slides into the pack. Five-point power jam there for the Doomsday Valkyries. But it looks like a penalty assessed to Alabama Worley. So now it's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. It's going to be Pikachu out there to do the jamming for the Scrappers.
Back-to-back power jams. Peak tries the high side, gets taken into the rail by Can You Dig It? But she's able to get out on the low side. Scrapper's able to keep the pack slow coming out of turn 2, giving Pikachu the maximum amount of time to score points. Peak's able to battle her way to the front of the pack and get by BB Skate. Peak working her way through the pack, gets knocked to the track by the box. But she's able to take a high line. Hey folks, try to keep, there's no whistling during a jam. There's no whistling at a roller derby bout. The only people allowed to whistle have stripes on. Yeah, we check.
Yes. We got an official timeout there from the referees. Done. I've heard that it's hard to hear us on the infield because all the speakers point away. Yeah. Right. Okay. We were doing it when you skated over. We were doing it. Thanks. You got an in with them. Make sure they know. All right, we are back to the action. It is going to be up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Indy.
That's a pretty hurt machine out there for the Scrappers.
Schoolyard Scrappers coming off that 10-point power jam, and Pretty Hurt Machine quickly to the front of the pack. Out and lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Indy now out of the pack as well, about a third of the track behind, trying to put the pressure on.
Fast pack coming down to the back straightaway. Hurt's trying to score her points, calls off the jam right as Indy gets to the back of the pack.
So 3 points up on the board for the Scrappers there as we dip under 12 minutes to go until halftime. Hot and ready now to the jammer line for the Doomsday Valkyries.
That's Juicy Kiltour out there for the Scrappers. Juicy gets knocked to the track, and Hot and Ready gets knocked to the infield. Hot and Ready sees some daylight on the bottom of the track. She's able to get by Dolly Spartan. She's your lead jammer. But Juicy Kiltour is hot on her tail, trying to make up all that ground. Hot and Ready gets through the pack and calls off the jam. Valkyrie's able to pick up 3 points on that jam.
Valkyries now have Sour Appletini out there to do the jamming.
Bonnie Banshee out there for the Scrappers. Bonnie Banshee takes the high side. Scrappers close the door on Sour Appletini. Can't follow her out.
Bonnie Banshee out the front of the pack, and she is your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Sour Appletini gets knocked to the infield by the Scrappers. Scrappers got a solid 4 wall at the front of the pack.
Sauer Appletini now fighting her way through those front couple of blockers for the Schoolyard Scrappers and gets on her way around the track. All right, we have another official timeout, so the regulator's going to check over some of the action there the previous jam. Already looks like they're coming together to talk about it and make sure we have the penalties all squared away. Looked like we were setting up for a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. We'll have to wait and see if that is still the case here momentarily. Another one of our league sponsors, Siphon Draw Apothecary, features all natural, non-toxic, handcrafted skincare products made by our very own Dolly de los Muertos. Visit them at the Goldfield Ghost Town on historic Highway 88. All right, we are getting back to the action. When it's all said and done now, the Doomsday Valkyries end up with a jammer and 2 blockers in the penalty box. Just 2 blockers out there at a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. It's going to be Dolly Spartan.
And Dolly Spartan wastes no time getting out on the high side. Scrappers keeping the pack virtually stopped on the front straightaway.
Dolly Spartan completing another scoring pass now with 30 seconds left in the power jam. Schoolyard Scrappers controlling the pace of play here and maintaining the speed of the pack. Dolly Spartan this time gets run up into the rail by one of the defenders for the Valkyries. Another scoring pass for Dolly Spartan, and she'll call off the rest of that jam. 20-point power jam for Dolly Spartan and the Schoolyard Scrappers.
20 points! Ballistic Buffalo out there taking the line for the Scrappers now.
Valkyrie's jammer is Indy. Ballistic Buffalo quickly to the front of the pack for the Schoolyard Scrappers and is lead jammer. Ballistic Buffalo now quickly up to the pack, navigating her way through and calls off the jam. Four points on the board for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And they've got Pretty Hurt Machine coming to the jammer line now. Jammer for the Doomsday Valkyries is BB Skate.
Pretty Hurt Machine able to get out on the low side. BB Skate trying to follow her through, gets tied up. Pretty Hurt Machine coming up on the pack though, going to start her scoring pass. BB Skate knocked to the infield, but Juicy Kill Tour, Spock Block, Made in Asia. Kenya skates up track to knock a couple scrappers out of the way, make room for her jammer to get out, and she does. But not before Pretty Hurt Machine scores the points and hunts her down and gets that last point, calls off the jam. Bonnie Banshee coming to the line now for the ladies in blue.
And Bonnie Banshee's out there all by her lonesome, so once again another power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Bonnie Banshee now to the jammer line. Penalty assessed to BB Skate in the previous jam.
Bonnie Banshee able to dodge past Indy to get out. Scrapper's able to held back one player. That slows the pack down almost to a crawl. Thereby minimizing the distance that Bonnie Banshee has to travel to get back around the track. Bonnie Banshee cutting her way through that pack like a warm knife through butter.
15 seconds left on the Power Jam clock. Bonnie Banshee on her way around again. One of our new hot shots this year, Bonnie Banshee.
Dolly Spartan pushing the Valkyries down the track to make room for her jammer to get by.
And for Bonnie Banshee and the Schoolyard Scrappers, another 20-point power jam. Schoolyard Scrappers now up to 100 for the bout. And they're going to send Felony Storm to the jammer line.
It's Kenya Diggett out there for the Valkyries, working her way along the low side, knocked to the infield, but gets back on the track really quickly. She's able to get out. She's not the lead jammer, but she's up there. Kenya trying to track down Felony Storm. Felony Storm gets to the back of the pack. Whoa. Yeah. Yay!
Doomsday Valkyries are going to go ahead and use their first half, one of their first half timeouts. So bring a brief stoppage to the play here. 1 point there on the board for the Valkyries, picking up on the back end there. Kenya Diggett racing in and crashing into the safety rail, and then telling the crowd she's okay. Once again, fans, don't forget our March fundraiser for the Derby Dames, our March charity for the Derby Dames, that is. We are supporting the fight against cancer. We are supporting the Irish Run here in Arizona on St. Patrick's Day, which is, the run is happening on March 13th. Sign up now and join Team Arizona Derby Dames for some fun. You can help raise money to fight cancer at the Kilt Lifter 10th Anniversary Kilt Run. Lots of fun for all ages, and pets are welcome. For full details and more information, be sure to check in outside. We do have a representative here tonight that is helping people with sign-ups. And if you sign up tonight, it's $5 off tonight only if you sign up here at the booth tonight for the 10th Anniversary Kilt Run, the Kilt Lifter 10th Anniversary Kilt Run on St. Patrick's Day week.
Oh, and just like that, the Scrappers are down a jammer. We got a power jam for the Valkyries.
Power jam for the Valkyries here. Points were updated there. The Schoolyard Scrappers put 4 points on the board. Valkyries up to 2 for the previous jam. The one got that reported to you. It is a power jam for the Valkyries, and it's going to be Indy out there to do the jamming for the Valkyries, and she's already out of the pack. 26 seconds left on the Power Jam clock. Indy still trying to complete a scoring pass, trying to find her way out of the pack. Now dipping around the last couple of blockers and able to get out with 13 seconds left on the jam clock. So 9 points up on the board for the Doomsday Valkyries during that power jam. Up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be hot and ready.
Jamming her first time tonight, Killing Ray Smalls. And she gets out as your lead jammer.
Hot and ready now out as well of the pack. There's a whole lot of wetting on this jammer line right now. That's all I know. Smalls now trying to find her way through the pack. Gets past Sugar Ray looking up towards the front of the pack. Hot and ready now making her way through the pack as well. And hot and ready through the pack. Big collision on the front straightaway. Smalls now trying to catch up to the pack. Tries to get some points up on the board and calls it off.
All right, Scrapper sending Dolly Spartan to the jammer line now.
Up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Sour Apple Teeny. When it's all said and done, it was 8 points for the Scrappers and 4 points for the Valkyries in the previous jam.
And Dolly Spartan gets out on the high side. She's your lead jammer. She's the only one out of the pack yet. Sarah Appletini's working her way. She gets knocked around by Bonnie Banshee, Morning Madness, but she gets out on the low side in turn 3 as Dolly Spartan works her way through the pack. Dolly Spartan says, I think I want one more point. But there wasn't enough time. Calls off that jam. Scrapper sending Spock Block to the line.
It'll be Kenya Diggett for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Scrappers are down one blocker on this jam.
Kenya Diggett trying to get to the front of the pack. A final block from Made in Asia, but Kenya able to get a better angle on it. Knocks her out of the way, and she's your lead jammer for the Valkyries.
Spock Block gets out in turn 2. Scrapper speeding up this pack. Try and make it harder for Kenya to get all the points.
Kenya gets blocked off onto the infield, trying to get a couple of points. Goes ahead and calls it off with Spock Block barreling in there at the very end of things. And it's going to lead to a jammer penalty against Kenya Diggett. So going into the going into the halftime break, it's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. It's Pretty Hurt Machine at the jammer line.
Both teams are sitting down one blocker. Hurt cuts through the middle of the pack. Gets tied up by some Valkyries there. At the front of the pack taking on Indy. Getting knocked around, but she's able to get out on the back straightaway.
Pretty Hurt Machine now working her way through, manages to jump over a sliding block from one of the Valkyries and gets through the pack on a scoring pass. And a collision this time as Pretty Hurt Machine into the back of one of her own blockers now, trying to find her way through and finish off this scoring pass. And there we are. That's going to take us up to the halftime break. It's a 10-point power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers as we head into the halftime festivities. Your score right now, Schoolyard Scrappers 126, Doomsday Valkyries 44. We'll take a 15-minute halftime break. And we are going to go ahead and call off your raffle prize. So please get those orange raffle tickets ready. Your halftime raffle prize is as follows: 785 695. 785 695. If that is you, hoot, holler, make some noise, and come on down to the prize garden and collect your prize right down here by the announcer's nest. right, Derby fans, we've got an update on the 50-50 raffle. Update on the 50-50 raffle is that is being dispersed. The 50-50 raffle will be given out at the end of this bout, at the end of this first bout, so not at the end of the night. We've heard that there may have been some miscommunication regarding that. So we wanted to clarify the 50-50 raffle is going to be paid out at the end of this first bout, not at the end of the night. That being said, the pool is already up to $290, so it's going to be $150 or so to the winner right now. And that's only going to go up as more people buy tickets. We're back to the action.
That's Ballistic Buffalo out there for the Scrappers. Gets out, gets lead jam status, and calls it off.
Can you dig it? Was right behind her, out as well. So we'll set up for another jam really quickly. It's going to be Alabama Whirly for the Valkyries, and that is Juicy Kiltour for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Both teams at full strength, got a full pack right there. Juicy still working her way along the bottom of the pack there, trying to get by the last couple of Valkyries. They're walled up, though. Pikachu's out there in front trying to get her jammer out, trying to knock people by.
Still neither jammer was able to get out of the pack until just now. Juicy Kiltour out the front of the pack for the Scrappers. Lead jammer with less than 20 seconds to go in the jam. Juicy Kiltour blocked up into the rail, and the clock is going to expire as she is trying to gather herself and get back on her feet at the back of the pack. We'll check and see if she picked up any points, and that was able to get 1 point there in that collision with the back end of the pack. So a full 60-second jam, resulting in 1 point there for the Scrappers. Scrappers now are going to send Bonnie Banshee to the jammer line.
That's BB Skate out there for Valkyries. Both jammers trying to take up through the high side. But Bonnie Banshee able to cut down to the middle and able to get out as your lead jammer. Pack is virtually stalled in turn one as BB Skate's able to run her way out. Bonnie Banshee scores her points, eyeing the other jammer and calls off the jam.
Looks like we've got some penalties filtering into the infield. We've got a jammer is off the track there for the Schoolyard Scrappers, which is going to mean a power jam for the Valkyries now. Indy 500 on the jammer line for the Valkyries, your co-captain.
Indy tries the high side, trying to get by Dolly Spartan and Pikachu. Comes down to the low, challenging Pretty Hurt Machine. Gets knocked down. I get knocked down, but I get back up. Indy sees some daylight, but gets knocked to the infield by Dolly Spartan. Gonna have to reestablish herself on the track. Gets taken up to the high side by behind Pikachu.
Seconds left here in the power jam. Schoolyard Scrappers defense has so far been able to beat Devil. Indy now gets through the pack and is going to call off the jam as the jam clock was preparing to expire anyhow. And I did hear reported during that jam a penalty being assessed of skating out of bounds on Indy, so that's going to lead to a power jam for the Doomsday Valkyrie. Doomsday Valkyries are going to surrender at Power Jam to the Schoolyard Scrappers now and turn around, and the Scrappers now are going to try to get some points on the board with Ballistic Buffalo at the jammer line.
Ballistic Buffalo trying to work her way along the high side. Challenged up there by Kenya Diggett holding her back. That's Shirley Temple of Doom out there holding her, but she's able to get out after turn 2. Valkyrie's trying to wall up here. Juicy Kiltua trying to push those Valkyries up at the wall and out of the way. Ballistic Buffalo able to emerge from the pack, but takes a knee on the track. Comes back around the curve and gets knocked to the track again by some Valkyries.
And we've got an official timeout to go over some of those penalties. I heard all manner of penalties being reported in there by the regulators.
All right, well, while they're talking about that, I'm going to talk about the next bout. Mark your calendars. Our next hard-hitting action comes to you on March 21st. This bout's going to feature a doubleheader between the undefeated Runaway Brides and your favorite bullies, the Schoolyard Scrappers. Second game of the night features these Doomsday Valkyries. Wait, we're talking about this one. The Doomsday Valkyries versus the Coffin Draggers. Those games are sure to give some good hits. And stay tuned on our social media pages for some more details. Don't miss out on what all the cool kids are doing on Saturday nights. That's 3 weeks from now.
I don't even know what the date is, but I'm like, no, I know I have a show on. I don't have another show bout interference the rest of the year, so there's no more bouts on the fourth Saturday of the month. Okay. All right, we are back to the action. Very small pack out there after all the penalties were assessed. I just see a whole lot of ink on the whiteboard there. And we will get back to the action with Pikachu at the jammer line for the Schoolyard Scrappers. And calling off the jam is your lead jammer, Sour Appletini, both of them rocketing through that very slim pack, and Sour Appletini calling it off. So from a very small pack to a very full pack out there, if such a thing can exist. Your jammer for the Valkyries is going to be BB Skate.
Scrappers are sending Pretty Hurt Machine out there. Hurt takes the low side and dances along the coping there and gets out as your lead jammer. BB Skate knocked to the infield, bumped to the infield by Morning Madness. Scrapper's able to wall up at the front of this pack. BB Skate going to take a run at the high side now. Comes down to the low, finds herself right behind Sandra Slay O'Connor and Morning Madness again, but pushes them out of play. They have to let the jammer go by. Pretty Hurt Machine coming around, making us another scoring pass here. Gets through the pack and calls it off before BB Skate can score any points.
Setting up in the jammer line now. Pair of similar numbers, number 300 Dolly Spartan and number 500 Indy for the respective teams out there right now, the Scrappers and the Valkyries. 9 points up on the board for the Scrappers there in the previous jam. Another robust pack. Indy getting a head start from a little behind the jammer line. Dolly Spartan taking a patient approach. Dolly Spartan up to the outside. Dolly Spartan, your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Indy trying to find an opening along a defensive wall and not able to do so far. Now Indy out of the pack. Dolly Spartan completing a scoring pass and calls off the jam. Up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Kenya Diggett.
Here comes Sandra Slay O'Connor for the Scrappers.
There along the inside goes Kenya Diggett racing to the front of the pack. Kenya Diggett, your lead jammer for the Valkyries.
Valkyrie's able to wall up in front of Sandra Slay O'Connor. We got a solid 4 wall in front of her. Scrappers challenging them though, trying to break it up and get their jammer out.
So it's a 10-point jam for the Valkyries, but in the process, they also are going to be assessed a jammer penalty. So can you dig it to the penalty box? And on the jammer line for the Scrappers is going to be Morning Madness.
Mads hits the back of the pack and she's trying hard to push her way along the rail. She gets out in turn 1 though. Valkyries are walling up. Scrappers are trying to get in there to break up that wall. Morning Madness completes her scoring pass. Still 26 seconds left in this jam. Ballistic Buffalo and Nacho Mama making their move, trying to break up that Valkyrie's wall.
Morning Madness knocked off balance, but able to stay on her skates with a little bit of fancy skate work. Knocked off to the infield there again by the Valkyries defense. Just a couple of seconds left on the jam clock, and a big collision just sprung Morning Madness loose as the clock was getting ready to expire. Morning Madness puts 9 points on the board during the power jam, and the power jam pendulum will swing back the other way. Morning Madness being assessed a penalty, and now she's in the penalty box. And up to the jammer line for the Doomsday Valkyries is going to be BB Skate. BB Skate now to the front of the pack, trying to find her way through along the rail with 20 seconds gone here in the power jam.
Valkyrie's trying to break up that solid Scrapper wall. Scrappers keep on recycling back in front of the jammer.
BB Skate again up towards the front of the pack and knocked off stride there by Pretty Hurt Machine. And now BB Skate able to run up and around the outside, but is going to run out of time in the power jam. So again, a solid defensive effort by the Schoolyard Scrappers on the power jam penalty kill. Schoolyard Scrappers now sending Ballistic Buffalo to the jammer line. And racing her way to the front of the pack is Alabama Whirly, your jammer for the Valkyries. Defensive effort there at the front of the pack by the pivot for the Valkyries, held in Ballistic Buffalo for a little while, but able to get out as well. Now heading up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Kenya Diggett.
It's Dolly Spartan out there for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Kenya heads for the low side, gets stuck behind a wall of 3 Scrappers at the front of the pack. Dolly's still working her way to the back of the pack, but she's able to get out. Kenya's able to emerge as your lead jammer. Dolly Spartan got Bout right behind her, though. Kenya goes ahead and calls off that jam.
And in that short jam, Kenya Diggett was assessed a penalty, so now she's in the penalty box. Up to the jammer line for the Scrappers is going to be Pikachu for the Schoolyard Scrappers Power Jam.
Pikachu able to get out, get by those last couple Scrappers there and get out as the lead jammer, as the only jammer. The only one able to score points on this jam. Gets to the back of the wall. Gets by Sour Appletini, and she's able to get out for more points. Still half a minute left in the jam. Pack gets stalled over here in turns 3 and 4. Pikachu able to push those Valkyries out of play.
Points up on the board for Pikachu during the power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Up to the jammer line now for the Valkyries is going to be BB Skate.
It's Pretty Hurt Machine out there skating for the Scrappers, and she gets out first as your lead jammer.
Quarter clock comes to a close, so this will be the last jam of the third quarter.
Dolly Spartan trying to hold BB Skate. BB Skate able to push him out of play. Sandra Slay O'Connor and Dolly Spartan out there trying last-ditch defense. Pretty Hurt Machine gets through the pack, though, calls off the jam.
All right, we have reached the quarter break. 4 points up on the board for the Schoolyard Scrappers there. That's going to take their score to 174 up against the Valkyries 55 as we head into the quarter break. We've got ourselves raffle tickets.
Orange raffle tickets, number 785-696 and 785-689. Those are awfully close. Somebody might even have both of them. 785-696, 785-689. Come on down.
All right, Derby fans, we are ready to get back to the action. Once again, a quick check of the score. Schoolyard Scrappers 174, Doomsday Valkyries 55. Up to the jammer line for the Valkyries is going to be Alabama Whirly, and jamming for the Schoolyard Scrappers is Ballistic Buffalo. Both jammers still mired in the middle of the pack. Now Ballistic Buffalo right at the front of the pack and emerges your lead jammer for the Schoolyard Scrappers. Alabama Whirly still looking for an opening along the outside rail, but spun back down towards the infield. Ballistic Buffalo now up to the pack for the Schoolyard Scrappers, looking for an opening. To find one along that defensive wall for the Valkyries. Ballistic Buffalo completing a scoring pass and now coming around with a few seconds left on the jam, try to get a few more points on the board. Ends up being a 10-point jam for Ballistic Buffalo, and now it's going to be a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers. That's going to be Dolly Spartan up to the jammer line for the Scrappers.
Orange zero. I like your shirt, by the way, Retro. Oh, thank you.
Dolly Spartan spun down along the defensive wall and down to the inside of the track, able to get through on that first transit of the pack, and now on a scoring pass up to the high side.
Once again, Scrappers keeping that pack nice and slow, coming down the back straightaway.
Dolly Spartan through on another scoring pass, has 18 seconds left here on the power jam clock. Dolly Spartan looking for a few more points here as the clock getting ready to expire. And runs up into the back of the pack. And picking up a penalty there at the very end of it was Dolly Spartan. So now a power jam for the Doomsday Valkyries. Dolly Spartan putting 15 points on the board. We're going to have an official timeout here before we move forward, though. Indeed, there it is, an official timeout. So we'll step aside from the action here momentarily. We'll tell you once again about SkaterCon 2020. That is coming up 1 week from today, Saturday, March 7th at Paradise Valley Skate Park. Saturday, March 7th marks the 5th annual Phoenix SkaterCon, a multi-dimensional celebration of skateboarding and the rich culture that surrounds it. Check out the Arizona Derby Dames booth, talk with skaters, eat at the food trucks, and check out the live music. With meet and greets, contests, and legends of skating, you don't want to miss it. Once again, that's next Saturday. Paradise Valley Skate Park at SkaterCon 2020.
Looks like after that referee conference, the penalty against the Scrappers jammer was called off. That's Made in Asia out there going to skate this next jam.
And still Indy for the Doomsday Valkyries.
Once again, numbers 5 and 500. Made in Asia, number 5 gets out first. She's your lead jammer. Indy working her way through the back of the pack. Made in Asia comes around, starts her scoring pass. Gets turned around in the middle of the pack, knocked to the infield. Indy able to get out of the pack, though. Made in Asia goes ahead and calls off that jam. BB Skate coming to the line for the Valkyries.
It's going to be Felony Storm for the Schoolyard Scrappers. 5 points for the Scrappers, pushes them up over 200 for the bout, up to 204 now. Felony Storm, your jammer for the Scrappers here. Felony Storm closest to getting free and now out at the front of the pack. Just had that last blocker to deal with, and Felony Storm is your lead jammer. BB Skate racing out of the pack for the Valkyries as well, is just a little behind. So Felony Storm now trying to navigate through the pack, runs up into a defensive wall and calls it off. So 2 points up on the board for the Scrappers there, but they're going to surrender a power jam here. So it's a Valkyries power jam. And on the jammer line for the Valkyries, that's going to be Sour Appletini.
Both teams have a full complement of blockers, so there's going to be a little bit of traffic as Sour Appletini tries to complete this scoring pass. Valkyries rush up and try to break up the Scrappers' wall. Sour Appletini gets knocked to the infield by Juicy Culture. Juicy lined up with Killin' May Smalls and Dolly Spartan at the front of the pack. Teeny knocked to the infield by Juicy Culture there. Reestablish ourselves on the track. Chingadora out in front trying to help her jammer get by. Dora able to break up the pack, but Teeny pushes those blockers out of the way and she gets out. Sour Appletini, never give up, never surrender.
Up to the jammer line now for the Schoolyard Scrappers is Spock Block. Jamming for the Valkyries, that is Can You Dig It?
Valkyries have all their blockers out there. Kenya challenging on the high side with Pretty Hurt Machine, but she's able to get by her. She's your lead jammer.
Spock Block out of the pack as well now for the Scrappers looking to catch up. And Can You Dig It finishing off a scoring pass. Spock Block fighting to pick up a few points there on the back end. And we've got an official timeout now before we move forward. Officials checking in. There's a conference there going on with the head referee and one of the jam refs and one of the pack refs.
Number of penalties going up on that board for both teams.
Indeed.
Got about 8 minutes left on that 50-50 raffle. It's up to $390. You're going to take home $195 of that. Get those 50-50 raffle tickets purchased. Payday's a long way away. You might want this.
All right. With that whistle, we are back to the action. 8:03 to go here until the end of regulation. That's going to be Indy on the jammer line for the Valkyries.
That's Sandra Slay O'Connor back out there again for the Scrappers.
And after all those penalties were assessed, a very small pack. Indy able to rocket right through there along the inside and get out of the pack for the Valkyries. And Indy along the inside able to finish off a scoring pass for the Valkyries. And following a big block from her pivot, Indy gets through on another scoring pass.
Sanderson O'Connor doing battle with Autumn's Prime up there, trying to get by her on the rail. She's able to get by, but I think it's taken into the rail by Sour Appletini.
Clock expires on the jam. 15 points up on the board for the Doomsday Valkyries there during the previous jam, and we've got an official timeout to go over some of the goings on. So we'll check the whiteboard of pain there in a couple of moments.
I'll tell you about Arcadia Health and Wellness, though. Preventing chiropractic care, physical therapy, corrective exercise, and massage therapy. Dr. Matt and Dr. Dom are chiropractors sure to meet your needs. Visit them at Arcadia Health and Wellness, located on 35th Street and Indian School in Arcadia. Mention the Arizona Derby Dames and get a discounted rate on your initial visit. It's Arcadia Health and Wellness.
All right, looks like we are just about ready to get back to the action here. A lot of helmetless heads over there in the penalty box. All right, after all the penalties were assessed, it looks like up to the jammer line now. Two of the Doomsday Valkyries parked in the penalty box. Jamming for the Valkyries is going to be BB Skate.
That's a pretty hurt machine out there, taking the line for the Schoolyard Scrappers. She takes the high road, and she gets out as your lead jammer.
Pretty hurt machine out of the pack. BB Skate exits the pack as well, so she's going to try to apply some pressure here, and coming in hot there at the end and coming to an abrupt stop. Pretty hurt machine calls it off. So 5 points up on the board for the Scrappers, 6:15 to go in regulation. It's going to be Indy on the jammer line for the Valkyries.
Bonnie Banshee coming to the line for the Scrappers now. Indy charges ahead, takes that high road up by the rail, gets tied up, and Bonnie Banshee goes low, gets out. Indy follows her on the low road, gets out as well. Bonnie Banshee's got about a third of the track advantage, comes to the back of the pack, calls off that jam. Picking up 1 point in the process. But more importantly, holding the other team to 0 points.
Up to the jammer line for the Valkyries now is Kenya Diggett.
Juicy Couture out there. Juicy charging along the high side. Following Kenya to the front of the pack. Both jammers get out at the same time.
Racing back to the pack they go, and Juicy Kiltour comes around to see how the pack was shaping up and calls it off. So
Scrappers happy to burn off a little bit of clock time there.
Can you dig it? Picking up an arms penalty or two. Picking up a penalty for each arm, apparently. Into the penalty box goes Kenny Diggett, so it's a power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers.
Pikachu out there to skate this power jam. Pikachu able to get out on the low side. Valkyries walling up at the front of the pack. Scrappers trying to hold one of them back. Peak trying to push the Valkyries out of play, and they got to let her go by. Pikachu cuts through the pack there.
And Peak finishing off one more scoring pass before the clock expires. It's 15 points on the board during the power jam for the Schoolyard Scrappers and Pikachu. The Scrappers are going to send Made in Asia to the jammer line. Jamming for the Valkyries, that is BB Skate.
It's Made in Asia out there for the Scrappers. Made in Asia tied up on the bottom in the infield. Got a four wall of Valkyries though. She's trying to get by. Catching up to the Scrappers. Scrappers able to try to break that wall up, get their jammer out. BB Skate starts her scoring pass. Made in Asia gets out in turn two. BB Skate still working her way through the pack.
BB Skate fighting her way through, getting past Felony Storm and calls off the jam. 5 points up on the board for the Valkyries there during the jam.
Last call on that 50-50 raffle, folks. I see those raffle tickets being waved about. Last call.
Two blockers off the track for the Valkyries. Valkyries have Indy at the jammer line.
Dolly Spartan out there for the Scrappers.
Number 500 versus number 300.
Both jammers approaching a slow pack. And Dolly Spartan gets out. Indy's able to get out in turn two, coming out of that slow pack. Dolly Spartan starts her scoring pass.
So 4 points up on the board for the Scrappers as we approach 1 minute to go here in regulation. Two Valkyries parking in the penalty box. Just kidding, just one. No, it's two. There we are. No, it's not two, it's just one. All right, just one blocker for the Valkyries in the penalty box.
BB Skate out there to skate for the Valkyries. That's Pretty Hurt Machine, your lead jammer. She's able to get out of the pack pretty decisively in turn one. And now coming back around there in turn two, and she's going to make her scoring pass. She gets by, passing the other jammer in the process. BB Skate trying one last desperate effort to get out of this pack. Felony Storm and Ballistic Buffalo able to wall up in front of her, though. Felony Storm tries to take her out, but she's able to get out of the pack as Pretty Hurt Machine makes her scoring pass. And that was the end of that jam.
as we get ready for the last jam of regulation. Lots of blockers getting called down. A couple of different Valkyries called down for penalties. Ends up just being one when it's all said and done. We have got on the jammer line for the Valkyries is Indy.
Bonnie Banshee out there for the Scrappers. Get this last jam, or almost possibly last jam. And that, like you say, and just like that, the Valkyries are skating a power jam.
So the Valkyries with a power jam here to close things out in regulation. We'll have to check on penalties at the end of this. If the Valkyries skate penalty free and the Scrappers do pick up penalties, then we would have a penalty jam after this. So Indy able to fight her way through the pack with 40 seconds left on the power jam clock.
Indy able to get through the pack there and finish her scoring pass. Still time for one more here. Indy trying to work her way through the pack, taken to the infield by Juicy Kiltour. And the time expires on that jam.
So it's an 8-point jam for the Valkyries to close out the regulation clock. We will check on the penalty situation and find out from the referees what's going to happen here. See if there's any penalty jams in store. Does not appear that we do, and so with this signal from head referee Infidel Castro, that's going to make it official. Your final score: Schoolyard Scrappers 240, Doomsday Valkyries 87. We'll set the clock for 30 once they're done with their cow. That's about when it'll start. That'll give them a second to clear, and then they can start the warm-ups.
Thank you so much for the film.
Sure, you're welcome. Thanks for finishing it. I would have felt bad. All right, Derby fans, get those 50-50 raffle tickets out. We're going to have that result for you real soon. Don't leave.